I want to help you maximize your money, and that's by breaking bad money habits. If you break these habits, I promise you, you will have more money, and the money you have will go further.
A mere $100 bill can transform into $5 million faster than most people realize. While others chase risky investments, the ultra-wealthy quietly harness what Einstein called the eighth wonder of the world, compound interest. Suze Orman has spent decades teaching this mathematical force that turns pocket change into fortunes. Today, I'm revealing the exact formula that accelerates this wealth-building process. No hype, no exaggerations, just proven financial physics. These next few minutes will show you how to activate this wealth multiplier starting today. Before we dive into the specifics of how $100 can grow into $5 million, let's address the elephant in the room. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, and it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. When we say fast in our title, we're talking about relative to the traditional path of working and saving for 40-plus years. Building significant wealth through investing is about leveraging three key elements: principal, which is your starting investment, rate of return, and most importantly, time. The longer your money compounds, the more dramatic the growth becomes, especially in the later years. Suze Orman, like many financial experts, emphasizes that financial independence comes from consistent investing over time, not from trying to strike it rich quickly. She often says, small amounts of money invested regularly over time can make you more than large amounts of money invested randomly. Now, let's be clear about what's realistic. Turning $100 into $5 million requires a combination of 1. Adding regular contributions beyond that initial $100. 2. Achieving solid investment returns consistently. 3. Giving your money enough time to compound. 4. Minimizing taxes and fees that eat into returns. 5. Staying disciplined through market ups and downs. Think of that initial $100 as the seed that starts your wealth-building journey, not the entire input that creates millions. It's about what happens after you plant that seed, how you nurture it, add to it, and give it time to grow. With that foundation of realism established, let's examine the mathematical principles that make this growth possible. Compound interest is the concept where your money earns returns, and then those returns themselves begin earning returns. It creates a snowball effect that starts slowly but becomes increasingly powerful over time. Let me illustrate with a simple example. You invest $100 and earn 10% in the first year, giving you $110. In year 2, you earn 10% on $110, giving you $121. By year 3, you earn 10% on $121, giving you $133.10. Notice that by year 3, you're earning money on money you never contributed. You're earning on the previous year's growth. This is the fundamental power of compounding. The formula for compound interest is A equals P multiplied by 1 plus R raised to the power of T, where A is the final amount, P is the principal starting amount, R is the rate of return expressed as a decimal, T is the time in years. This formula reveals something crucial: the exponential nature of compound growth. The longer the time period, the more dramatic the effect of compounding becomes. Suze Orman frequently emphasizes this point with her audiences. She notes that most people underestimate the later years of compound growth. The first few years might seem disappointing, but the growth in years 20 to 30 can be astonishing. Consider this. At a 10% average annual return, money doubles approximately every 7.2 years, using the rule of 72. That means $100 becomes $200 in about 7 years. $200 becomes $400 in about 14 years. For $100 becomes $800 in about 21 years. $800 becomes $1,600 in about 28 years. $1,600 becomes $3,200 in about 35 years. You can see how the actual dollar amounts start accelerating dramatically in later years. This is the concept many fail to grasp when they give up on investing too early. While compound interest is powerful, turning $100 into millions requires more than just letting that initial investment grow. This is where Suze Orman's teachings about consistent contributions come into play. Orman often advises people to pay yourself first, meaning to treat savings and investing as a non-negotiable expense before spending on discretionary items. Even small regular contributions can dramatically accelerate wealth building. Let's look at how adding just $100 per month changes our growth trajectory. Starting with $100 and adding $100 monthly with an 8% average annual return will give, after 10 years, about $17,300. After 20 years, about $59,300. After 30 years, about $150,000. After 40 years, about $350,000. After 50 years, about $800,000. As you can see, consistent contributions significantly boost your results. But we're still not at $5 million. So what's the missing piece? The key is to gradually increase your contributions as your income grows. This is where the concept of paying yourself first becomes even more powerful. Here's what will happen if you started with $100, added $100 monthly, and increased your contribution by just 5% each year, which is achievable for most people as their career progresses. After 40 years at 8% average returns, approximately $1.2 million. After 45 years, approximately $2.1 million. After 50 years, approximately $3.7 million. Now we're getting closer to that $5 million figure. This illustrates how combining an initial investment, consistent contributions, increases in those contributions, and the power of compounding over time can potentially create substantial wealth from a modest beginning. The growth rate of your investments dramatically affects your long-term results. Suze Orman emphasizes that understanding asset allocation and investment selection is crucial for optimizing returns while managing risk. Historically, different asset classes have produced different returns. Large-cap stocks have averaged roughly 10% annually over the very long term. Small-cap stocks have averaged slightly higher returns with more volatility. Bonds have produced lower returns with less volatility. Cash and equivalents have provided the lowest returns but highest stability. Orman often recommends a mix of investments based on your time horizon. The longer you have to invest, the more you can potentially benefit from growth-oriented investments like stocks. For younger investors with decades ahead, she typically suggests a higher allocation to equities, stock investments. This might mean index funds that track the broad market, which have historically provided returns in the 8 to 10% range over very long periods. Let's examine how different return rates affect our example of $100 initial investment plus $100 monthly that increases by 5% annually. At 6% average annual return over 45 years, approximately $1.3 million at 8% average annual return over 45 years, approximately $2.1 million at 10% average annual return over 45 years, approximately $3.5 million at 12% average annual return over 45 years, approximately $5.8 million. As you can see, just a few percentage points in return can make $1 million difference in the end result. This is why Orman emphasizes financial education and understanding investments. However, it's important to note that higher returns typically come with higher risk and volatility. While the stock market has historically provided strong long-term returns, it experiences significant ups and downs along the way. This is why investing for the long term, and not panic selling during downturns, is crucial to realizing these returns. One of Suze Orman's key teachings is about the critical importance of tax-advantaged investment accounts. Taxes can significantly reduce your investment returns, so minimizing their impact is essential for reaching ambitious financial goals. There are several types of tax-advantaged accounts that can help accelerate your wealth building. 1. 401k and workplace retirement plans. These often come with employer matching contributions, essentially free money, and allow your investments to grow tax-deferred. 2. Traditional IRA. Contributions may be tax-deductible, and investments grow tax-deferred until retirement. 3. Roth IRA and Roth 401k. While contributions are made with after-tax dollars, all growth and qualified withdrawals are completely tax-free. 4. Health savings accounts, HSAs. These offer a triple tax advantage for healthcare expenses and can function as additional retirement accounts. Orman particularly emphasizes the power of Roth accounts for long-term wealth building. Let's see how taxes affect our example. Assuming you're in a 25% tax bracket and invest in a taxable account, you might lose approximately 25% of your returns to taxes each year. This could reduce an 8% return to roughly 6% after taxes. In contrast, in a tax-advantaged account like a Roth IRA, you could potentially realize the full 8% return with no taxes on qualified withdrawals. Over 45 years, the difference between a 6% and 8% return on our example, starting with $100 and adding $100 monthly with 5% annual increases, includes 1. Taxable account of 6% return will give approximately $1.3 million. 2. Tax-advantaged account of 8% return will give approximately $2.1 million. That's an $800,000 difference just from tax efficiency. Moreover, many employer-sponsored plans offer matching contributions. If your employer matches 50% of your contributions up to a certain percentage of your salary, that's an immediate 50% return on those dollars before any market growth. Maximizing these tax advantages and employer benefits is a crucial strategy that Orman repeatedly emphasizes for anyone serious about building substantial wealth. Perhaps the most critical factor in turning small investments into millions is time. Suze Orman frequently emphasizes that starting early, even with small amounts, is far more powerful than waiting and investing larger sums later. Let's look at two hypothetical investors. 1. Early starter begins at age 25, investing $100 monthly, increasing by 5% annually, until age 65, which is 40 years. 2. Late starter begins at age 35, investing $200 monthly, increasing by 5% annually, until age 65, which is 30 years. For an 8% average annual return, early starters' final amount will be approximately $1.2 million. Late starters' final amount will be approximately $740,000. Despite investing twice as much monthly, the late starter ends up with significantly less because they miss the crucial first 10 years of compounding. This illustrates what Orman calls the miracle of compound interest and the cost of waiting. Those early years are extraordinarily valuable because they provide more time for compounding to work its magic. If you want to reach ambitious goals like turning $100 into $5 million, starting early becomes even more crucial. For someone starting at age 18 and investing until age 75, 57 years. With an initial $100 and monthly contributions of $100 increasing by 5% annually, achieving a 10% average annual return could potentially result in over $5 million. This timeline is realistic for many young people today, especially considering increasing longevity and the trend toward longer working careers or semi-retirement. The takeaway is clear. The best time to start investing was yesterday. The second best time is today. Every year of delay significantly reduces your potential final outcome. Now that we understand the principles, let's outline the practical steps to implement this wealth-building strategy based on Suze Orman's teachings. 1. Start now, regardless of the amount. Even if you can only set aside $100 today, that's enough to begin. The important thing is to start the habit. 2. Set up automatic contributions. Establish a system where money is automatically transferred to your investment accounts before you have a chance to spend it. 3. Choose tax-advantaged accounts. Prioritize accounts like 401k, especially if there's employer matching, Roth IRA, and HSA to maximize tax efficiency. 4. Select appropriate investments. Based on your time horizon, consider low-cost index funds or ETFs that provide broad market exposure with minimal fees. 5. Increase contributions regularly. Commit to increasing your investment amount whenever you receive a raise, bonus, or windfall. 6. Resist the urge to withdraw. Treat your investments as untouchable except for true emergencies or planned objectives. 7. Continuously educate yourself. Stay informed about personal finance and investing to make adjustments as needed. 8. Monitor and rebalance. Periodically review your investments and rebalance to maintain your desired asset allocation. Following these steps consistently over time puts you on the path to significant wealth accumulation, potentially even reaching that $5 million goal from humble beginnings. The journey from $100 to $5 million isn't about finding a secret formula or get-rich-quick scheme. As Suze Orman teaches, it's about understanding and applying the mathematical principles of compound interest, consistent investing, tax efficiency, and the crucial element of time. Is it realistic to turn exactly $100 into $5 million? Yes. But it requires additional regular contributions, prudent investment choices, and a significant time horizon. The initial $100 is symbolic. It represents the beginning of your wealth-building journey. The most important takeaway is that financial independence is achievable for ordinary people who apply these principles consistently over time. Whether your personal goal is $500,000, $1 million, or $5 million, the strategy remains the same. Remember Orman's wisdom. Small steps lead to big accomplishments. Start with what you have today, even if it's just $100, and let the power of compound interest work for you over time. Thank you for watching this episode of Oasis of Finance. If you found this valuable, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Together, we can build a community dedicated to financial education and independence.